Alright, I'm excited. We're doing this. This video has editing. Editing? Editing. Now, before we start, there's a very important precursor to this video. You know what this video is? I guess I should start there. There's an age-old debate, as old as time itself. Which is better? This one or this one? This is the thumbnail shot. Hang on, I'm going to stay here for a second. Okay. I'm not going to edit that shit out. I'm drinking this today. Black Saddle 12-year bourbon. This isn't a paid ad because I don't know if I like it yet. We're going to try it right now. Notes of vanilla. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know shit. It's good. It's good. Also, quick shout out. In this, I wish they'd pay me, but they won't. If you've never had Pumpkin, this is the best pumpkin beer in existence. It's a Chicago brewery called Southern Tier. Don't get the nitro. This is just all that was left. It sells out fast every year. But if you can find it, get it. Alright, now we're going to start the real shit. Metallica is one of the first metal bands I really got into. Unless we count like Korn and Disturbed, which, you know, most of us don't. Metallica, I think, is most people's first real gateway into metal. And I think there's an endless debate about which one of these two classics is their best. So, forget the year. I should have looked it up beforehand. 1984. Metallica came out with this son of a bitch. This is a killer record. Ride the Lightning is incredible. I don't think many people debate that. It's kind of cool to hate on Metallica nowadays, understandably, but classic. But then they go and follow that shit up with this bad boy. 2 years later, another absolute classic. So, what happens next? Well, metal fans everywhere rage for the next 40 or 30 years over which is better. And I'm here to provide you today an objective analysis on which is better. And you'll find out by the end that my opinion is right. So believe it or not, I actually came into this video with a plan. I think for the first time since I've ever done one of these videos. These albums are stylistically very similar. I don't know if anyone's noticed this. The first track has an acoustic intro and then goes into a classic thrash metal banger. Second track is the title track. Third is kind of a like slow it down, you could argue filler type track, real simple songwriting. Fourth one is the ballad that grows and gets stronger. Fifth and sixth one are arguable filler. And then the only difference between these two albums is the last two tracks. One is an instrumental and one is an absolute banger. And on Ride the Lightning, the instrumental comes last. Master of Puppets, it comes first. Maybe I'll throw some type of text up here to help out. I don't know. Cut that part out. So what I'm going to do is a track-by-track head-to-head on this shit. And then each track is going to be graded on 4 criteria. And I'll pop them up on the screen here as I go, I hope. 1, technicality. How hard is it to play? So I've played guitar and drums in my life. I mean, if you're comparing this to like Origin, none of this drumming is technical. We all know that. It's Lars technical. Technical compared to the fucking Black Album. But how hard this is to play. 2, songwriting. Does it have a structure to it? Does it grow? Does it have a theme? Do all the instruments work together? Stuff like that. 3, lyrics. Now these last two categories are going to be weighted less heavily because, I mean, who really gives a fuck? Judas Priest has fucking stupid lyrics, but we all love them, right? 4. God damn, my webcam fucking... 4. X Factor. All that means is intangibles. Memorability, influence it had on future songs, my personal bias. No, I know I said this would be objectively correct, but it's my video. Fuck you. Alright, song number 1. AKA acoustic intro into standard thrash metal song. So we have Fight Fire with Fire versus Battery. Fight Fire with Fire starts with this acoustic intro where it's all blue, 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 blue. Oh dear, my nickel's over in a twist. I don't think it's good. I don't think it was necessary. Kind of lame. But then it goes into a fairly cool metal riff. The problem is, when you compare this riff to things already existing, like Megadeth's first record, it's kind of crap. Again, I have to be careful because a lot of people like this track, but to me, this is a borderline filler. When I'm listening to this album on a digital format, I just start at Ride the Lightning. I don't think this is that great of an album opener. I don't think it's that strong. Maybe it's just me. And then the chorus, the delivery, fight fire with fire. It doesn't flow off the tongue. It's not great. There's just nothing that draws me to this song. Now, so Battery's acoustic intro makes me feel like I'm prepping up for like a bull to charge me. I'm like a matador in the ring. I'm getting ready. It's fucking cool, man. Then those first chords hit. Bam! I know I promised you objective analysis. I'm already abandoning that. It's just going to be a drunk guy ranting at you about why Battery's a better opener than Fight Fire with Fire. Sorry. Here we go. I mean, come on. Battery's got, like, tempo changes. It's got multiple riffs. It's got a bitchin' guitar solo. This thing has everything. James Hetfield's voice is at point. On point. You know what I meant. Everything works on this track. Battery wins in all the categories, okay? Battery wins technicality. Just from the tempo changes alone. It's harder to play, harder to learn. Songwriting, again, tempo changes, different parts. Just weirder stuff going on. Lyrics, fucking Battery. I don't like saying Fight Fire with Fire. I like Battery! Battery! I guess he just says Battery over and over, but alright, fine. We're going to change that to a draw. But then X Factor. I think clearly you know where I'm going with this. Battery wins all the X Factor. So, winner. First round, Battery. Song 2. Now we get into title track battle. And this is admittedly harder, and I'm going to be less of a fanboy about it. Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets are both respectively amazing tracks. So it's really hard to say. So I'll actually break this down in a normal fashion and try and be less of a spaz. So technicality. Guitar-wise, I think they're about even, honestly. Master of Puppets is longer. There's more parts going on. But Ride the Lightning, I mean, the solo's tough. The guitar playing, it's all not the easiest song in the world to learn. Drumming, though... Ride the Lightning's a fucking easy song. I mean, most of us learned it in Rock Band. Master Puppets, however, has a lot of parts to learn. It's got non-standard time signatures. You know, got all this stuff in it. So I have to give technicality slight edge to Master Puppets. Um, and then transitioning right into songwriting, I have to give Master Puppets the edge as well. It's it's got multiple parts, long, slow section. Although Ride the Lightning has that too, but I think Master Puppets has a better, like, its theme, slow part, big building bridge, crazy solo, back to the theme. Whereas Ride the Lightning is much more just your standard chorus verse type song. So lyrics wise, I'm gonna give it to Ride the Lightning. Um, Master of Puppets has a few silly lines that alone bug me. When he's all like, "Hell is worth all that. Natural habitat. Just a rhyme without a reason." I get what he's going for, but like, fuck! Don't you feel stupid delivering that line? I feel stupid pretending to sing it on a YouTube. Like, I don't know. I think Ride the Lightning's a more solid concept, a protest of the death penalty in general, or just begging for your life on the chair. I don't know. It seems like a more solid concept to me than general control, like drugs and other factors control you like a Master of Puppets. I think they pulled it off more maturely on Ride. But then, lastly, X Factor. For me, Master of Puppets. Which one are you still hearing on the radio today? Well, depending where you live, you're probably not hearing any metal. But for me, Master of Puppets is still the one that stood the test of time. Ride the Lightning's cool for those of us that like metal. But Puppets just has the it, man. The slow bridge part. That sticks in everybody's fucking head. Everyone knows this song. It wins. So we've got 2 points for Master Puppets. So now we're on to the slow rhythmic track. We've blown your asshole out of the room for 2 tracks. Now we're going to slow it down and do something mid-tempo. You have For Whom the Bell Tolls versus The Thing That Should Not Be. Now, without getting too into it, I think the choice is obvious. Technicality, this is probably a draw. But songwriting, lyrics, X Factor, all go to For Whom the Bell Tolls. Based on the Hemingway novel, loosely. It's more memorable. It's got better riffs. It's got it. The Thing That Should Not Be is probably the worst track on Master Puppets. This one really isn't a competition. No reason for me to elaborate. Okay, that brings me to my most agonizing decision. Fade to Black versus Sanitarium. This is genuinely tough because I love both these songs a lot. So I don't take this lightly, and this is probably the swing vote. This I should have just called this a draw. I did. Okay, sorry. Technicality. We're giving it to Sanitarium. I think the solo is better. That is the only reason. That's literally the only reason. They both have these awesome, like, build up. And they did this again on their 4th track on Justice with One. They just nail these ones that start like a ballad and then it gets bigger, and by the end you're just rocking out. And for that exact reason, I gave it a draw on songwriting. They're both really good. This is what Metallica's great at. Same with X Factor, draw. This is Metallica's niche in the early albums, at least to me. Lyrics, I'm gonna give it to Fade to Black. It's angsty, but it's relatable. We've all felt the way Fade to Black is at least once, where Sanitarium's just a generic, like, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest type thing about crazy people. So overall, I called it a draw. because I can't just. It's just tough. I love these both. These are both amazing tracks. They're both incredible. I have none wins over the other one. Now we get into the filler shit. Now I say that this isn't like filler on Rain and Blood. The filler on both of these is still good. I mean, except for like the thing that should not be. So song 5 on both of these is Trapped Under Ice versus Disposable Heroes. And they're both good, yet somehow forgettable Metallica songs. So technicality, I gave it to Disposable Heroes. I don't have a lot of basis for that, though, to be honest. They both have just this generic alternate picking type riffing through most of the song. And because of that, for songwriting, I gave them a draw. Lyrics, though, we're going to give the edge to Disposable Heroes. So Trapped Under Ice / Impaler by Exodus in later years. The song's about being trapped under ice, which is a metal subject. It really is. It's cool. Disposable Heroes, though, has some meaning to a lot of people. Whether you're one of the Murica support the troops types, or you look at war and view it as a horror, I think either way, this song has something for you. It's just a statement on the way that we kind of view our soldiers. And lyrical content like that, for me at least, is always going to win over some generic I'm trapped under ice, fuck, So because of that, I'm giving it to Disposable Heroes. I don't think Trapped Under Ice is a bad song. I just think Disposable Heroes is a better one. And then the next one, and this is the hardest one to find anything to talk about that's meaningful at all. Escape versus Leper Messiah. Lesser Messiah. This is the useless filler track. And as I said before, it doesn't mean they're bad songs. Both these albums are classic for a reason. This is the most forgettable track on both these records. Gave it a draw straight down the board. I don't think it's even worth comparing. I feel like this is like comparing egg whites to egg yolks. The answer's yolks, by the way. Alright, this is where we get a little weird. So, Ride the Lightning ends with Creeping Death, and then Call of Ktulu. Whereas Master of Puppets ends with Orion, and then Damage Inc. Now, the instrumentals are Ktulu and Orion. Jesus. I gotta not drink so much while I do these. So what I've decided to do is switch them. And this is the one spot I'm not doing like a track head-to-head. I don't like comparing apples and oranges. So we're going to start with Creeping Death versus Damage Inc. And this is a tough one again, just like Sanitarium and Fade to Black was, because these are both killer tracks. They're both great. I like them both. But I'm going to give technicality to Damage Inc. So Creeping Death's main riff is this a play on just the 022 power chord. It's just it's not that hard. Most of the song's not that hard. Damage Inc. has some kind of wacky shit going on in some places. It's faster too. So like those two things alone, I have to give it to Damage on technicality. Songwriting and lyrics, I'm going to give it a draw. These are both sweet. They're both awesome. And as far as X Factor goes, I'm going to give it to Creeping Death. I mean, this is a crowd favorite when they play live to this day. There's just something about, maybe it's the part where you all get to chant "Die" together. I don't know, that's always fun. So all in all, I'm giving this one a draw. I can't call it either way. And then we get to the instrumentals. Call of Ktulu versus Orion. So I'm a little biased. Orion is one of my top metal instrumental tracks on planet Earth. So you already know it's winning. Spoiler alert. But I'll try and talk a little about it. Technicality. I gave it a draw. These are both fucking hard songs to play properly. They're both songs where you can kind of learn the riff on guitar fairly easily. But to play it right and consistently, I mean, they're not Dream Theater. I'm not trying to say they're like hard, but there's neither one has an edge on each other. Neither one of these is easy. I wouldn't give a guy who's just trying to learn guitar Call of Ktulu. It's hard. Songwriting, though, I have to give it to Orion. Orion, every part is beautiful, and there's all these different parts. It's just solid all the way through, and it never repeats itself, and that's a perfect instrumental to me. Whereas Call of Ktulu, it has some repetition, and by the end, I'm kind of finding myself like, okay, I'm ready for the record to end. No, you can tell I feel bad saying that, but because I think it's an amazing track. I think it's great. It's the highlight of the album. But Orion it's just a fucking masterpiece, man. That is, I think, the songwriting on this is Cliff Burton's like final great contribution to this band, and I have to give it to Orion. X Factor as well, and then lyrics. Ha 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 ha. There's no lyrics. So, final tally. Ride the Lightning has only outright won one, maybe two tracks. Master Puppets has outright won 4. So, objectively, track by track, Master of Puppets is better. Let that sink in. No. It for real, it is. Master of Puppets it's a goddamn masterpiece. Ride the Lightning was getting there. And I can understand this being your favorite. I can totally understand that. But I think objectively, if you start comparing every track, someone smarter than me could put out a better video about this. Master Puppets wins. Master Puppets there's a reason it's kind of considered their pinnacle, and I understand it gets a little boring in the middle. I understand that the thing that should not be is on it, but I just think track for track, this thing it slams harder. Yeah. So hopefully I've convinced one person on planet Earth that Master Puppets is objectively the best Metallica album. I know that there's some hipsters out there that want to say Kill 'Em All or Injustice for All is. And maybe I'll make a separate video addressing that. But you're wrong. I don't think there's a ton of argument if you're really into guitar playing drums, songwriting. They never hit the high of Master of Puppets ever again. All right, that's gonna do it for me. If you liked this, let me know. Like it. If you think I'm a moron, please tell me. I started this channel to have conversations about metal with people. So even if you want to just rip me an asshole and tell me I'm a bitch, I don't care. I'm ready. Alright, like this shit, subscribe, stay metal, stay heavy, generic catchphrase, generic random stuff, PP doo-doo, Trump is a bad president.